Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, motorcycles, the dogs, the kid life. There's an old sticker. Want a new sticker? Ice Age TV. Morning, good Wednesday morning there to everybody watching my channel. Appreciate you tuning into my channel. Got the sun really in my eyes here. Wow, that sun's powerful there in the morning. And hope everybody's having a really blessed, beautiful morning. Just another beautiful, yay, just once again, thanks for tuning to my channel and watching me, listening to me gab away and talk. And I appreciate those that do watch me on a regular basis. Some kind of listen to me and go away, and others just continue to listen to the talk, which I think that's great. But what a beautiful morning. And my pond has so been cleaned up by that nutria. That little animal ate like all my freaking lily pads. It's so cool. So, because that was maddening. I was so mad when that guy up the road from my house drained his pond from all the lily pads into my pond. That was very maddening. Made me very mad. And you know what? About this morning, on this beautiful Wednesday morning, I don't think I've had a mad conversation. Not mad, the Mad magazine. Does anybody remember growing up as a kid back in the 70s? Remember the Mad magazine? I think they said the Secretary of Transportation looks just like that guy. The Pete Man. Anybody know who that guy looks like? Yeah, the Mad guy, the iconic figure of that Mad magazine, comic magazine, with the spy, ex-spy guys. Remember all that stuff? The good old stuff. What's just a beautiful... I just can't get over how nice it is up here. It really is. It's not really cold. It's not really hot. And so, here we go to the car collection that, some days it just seems like what's missing, right? Somebody steals something, would I even know? I think I would. But anyways, heading over here to the shop to share with my mad experiences. And mad is such a broad aspect of our life. How do you handle being mad, right? Handle when you get mad. And we see some people, it gets very confrontational, very physical, very verbal. And I just think we live in an age today more than ever where the social media machine, you get to see the mad people out there, and it's really bad. You see how people are just very nasty, and that's a challenge in life. It's easy to be mean. It's hard to be nice. If you haven't figured that out, then you haven't been around very long. So here's the maddening thing for me. I had this truck yesterday, Ford Power Boost, one of my favorite work out of vehicles. Come on, Pops, let's get you guys in the barn, in the office, because all it takes is my neighbor walking his dog, and then I'll be getting mad because the dogs are running amok. And then I'll be trying to talk as they overrule me. So let's get over here, get the puppies in the shop. If you notice, I've got my Triumph gear on. It's the Triumph day. My Triumph hat. You can't really see it that well, but they see that. Let's get the dogs right here. Lights on. Lights, camera, action, right? Where's the other dog? Oh, he's in the house with the Kiefer dog as the daughter makes breakfast, and he's waiting for the freebie food. Yeah, that's why the other dog, the other Wheaten Terrier, because the other Wheaten Terrier gets mad. Very, one male dog, even the female, they're getting mad about who gets the food. Let's get all the lights on here. On the ongoing, am I mad? I've got a lot of maddening things going on between the Indian Pursuit. And now I was going to share with you my Ford Power Boost story yesterday. Very, very maddening. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm out here working in the field. I'm down in Alexandria, Virginia. And I did a job, and my truck was sitting out in the parking lot. What's pretty cool about these trucks, I've talked about it before, the Ford hybrid model like this, since it has the electric battery pack, you can let this truck run, and you don't know it's running. So you can be outside working the truck, and the engine's not running, so it's not wasting fuel. Same thing here with the electric vehicle F-150 truck. You can run this thing pretty much all day long as you move it within a 30-minute time frame, because there's a 30-minute time lapse where the truck automatically powers down. But if you're working on a truck, you don't have to power it on and power it off. So it's really nice. You get all your devices connected to it. You got the temperature set just right. All your modes, sport mode, echo mode, whatever it may be. And so what I do is I just leave the truck on. And once again, since the gas engine isn't running, nobody really knows the truck is on. So yesterday, for some stupid reason, I decided just to turn the truck off. And so I'm there at the job for a little while. And when I'm all done, I go to get my truck. And the truck has this major warning of full power accessory and this big battery icon, red. The truck will not power up. So I'm now, I'm like, this is really weird. So then I get out of the truck and get back in the truck. And I'm back in the truck and I'm trying to turn the truck on. And now I'm starting to get disgruntled and I'm getting mad because it's like, what the hell? This truck was just running 15, 20 minutes ago and now it won't run. And so now I'm texting a picture to my service manager, a screen display showing full power accessory, and then it's showing engine issue. It's showing a battery that's basically the 12-volt battery to actually start the vehicle is actually dead. It doesn't work. I'm like, how did that all happen? So I'm getting extremely, now I'm getting really like, what a joke. My day's done, extremely busy day. So anyways, I'm thinking, but I have to call the wife. She's going to bring her another truck down here, and we're going to have to load everything out. It's a project. So, yeah, was I getting mad? Yeah. So now I'm waiting for the service guy to call. So, for me, I got creative. So, first thing I did is I got out of the truck, and I did the remote start right here with my key fob. And nothing. The truck wouldn't communicate. I got back in the truck after I sit for a little bit, and nothing. Wouldn't do it. Same thing. So, now I get even more creative. I get my phone app out, and I remote start my Ford Power Boost from my Ford Pass remote app. And bing, bam, done. The truck starts up. What is that all about? Right? I mean, wow. So I was like, so now my service guy calls me, and he can actually get into the back end of this truck through his computer and see what's going on. So he's like, oh yeah, you got major recall issues on that truck. I'm like, oh great. He's like, you have such major recall issues in this truck. It's going to take us at least a day of downloading updates in your truck. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, this will be like an all-day project for us. Oh my gosh, isn't that maddening? Is it maddening? I mean, it is. I mean, this technology in these vehicles is cool, but at the same time, it makes you mad. And that's what drove this conversation this morning was our cars are so cool to own, and we get so much enjoyment out of them, but we also become mad at our cars. Who hasn't had a vehicle that has not run correctly, has, just like I said, won't start, breaks down the side of the road, and you get extremely mad. You start getting mad at the vehicle. Who hasn't had the bicycle? Who hasn't had something where they can just physically abuse? They throw their bicycle down the ground. I mean, it's all aspects of physical things that we own and use. And who hasn't just taken it out on their vehicle? Who hasn't probably punched their steering wheel or banged their hands on the steering wheel or the dash or, or wherever it may be because they're so aggravated and mad at their car. Yeah, so, and that's the thing about ICE people, the car people that we are, it's the love-hate madness that we get from these vehicles. I mean, who doesn't have the situation when you're driving down the road, you're having a great drive, and a person pulls out in front of you for like no reason at all, and that starts to make you mad. I mean, who hasn't had that? Every one of us that drives a car has had that. Who hasn't had the situation when you're driving down the road, you're just having a good old time, and some guy comes up on you, starts tailgating you when you're still doing at least the speed limit or above the speed limit, and they just ride your tail, and it makes you extremely mad. Who hasn't had the situation where it's the opposite, where you're going down the road, and a guy's going below the speed limit, and they won't go above the speed limit, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to deal with this, you start getting mad. The road rage, it's a very... It's a challenging thing when you drive these vehicles. My daughter, who works for me in my company, she drives 150, sometimes 200-mile days. She'll point blank tell you that the biggest stress of her job is driving a vehicle because of this Northern Virginia, Maryland, D.C., Beltway traffic is horrendous. It just wears you out. I mean, it really does. It is so challenging. And if you don't know how to handle it, then you're totally just mad all day long. And having to overcome that is not easy. A lot of people could not even do what I do because constant challenge of being behind the wheel of a car all day. And sure, anybody here that's on my channel that's a delivery driver, truck driver, whatever it may be, or somebody that has to do a lot of commuting back and forth, you can relate with, the biggest challenge is going to work and getting home from work without getting mad as hell. Who hasn't seen the office guy or person, or even yourself, walk into office that's mad as all get out because of them driving to work and being stuck in a major traffic jam, or them having a confrontation on the road? This is a classic one for my dad. My dad's watching my channel. This is classic. This goes back to California when I was just a kid. This is like probably like 1975, or say it was like 74 or 75. My dad, who commuted from Moraga, California to San Francisco to work for the telephone company, he came home one day and he was just mad. He was mad. And so apparently my dad was coming home from work, and I don't know the sequence of it. It could be backwards. Apparently he's coming home from work, and I think over the Bay Bridge or something, he got pulled over for tailgating, I think. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. If you were with my dad, you totally get the tailgating thing. Yes. Okay, so he gets a ticket, citation. So not long after that, he gets a speeding violation. So my dad, in one day, gets 2 tickets coming home from work. And he's just mad as all get out walking in the door. Son of a bee. So, wow. Yeah, so my dad could share with you his commuting experiences, and I'm sure many others here could do as well. So getting into the car, the car talk to the motorcycle talk, which everybody here knows. Yeah, have I been mad? If you've been watching my channel, if you watch it, you'll hear me say I'm just going to get rid of the Indian product line because I'm just so mad at my Indian Pursuit. And it wasn't for me riding my Indian Challenger. It wasn't for me getting motivated to ride that Indian Challenger. And hey, if Tactical Mex is watching, your mufflers did go in the delivery with UPS on Monday. You should probably have those things by today. You may have got them yesterday. So I know you're not at home, but I'm sure you'll get a message from somebody at home that, hey, you got a box from the Iceman up here. So I hope you get those, and I hope they arrive safely and they didn't damage the package. So, and just so you know, it's easy. If you watch my video, you'll see you've got everything there to take them off and put them back on. So, was the Tactical Mex man getting mad at me when he told me I was going to sell the bike? So frustrated with Indian and this Pursuit, I literally was like, I'm just going to sell the Challenger. And if the existing exhaust just stays on there and the guy takes it, whatever. I'm just so mad right now, whatever. Because we had conversations, Tactical Mex and I had conversations through email that I would be more than happy to let him have that exhaust. I'm sure he's like, what? You're selling the bike? You got to take the exhaust off. But he's a great guy. And he never, came across with a message like, get me. He's just probably like, dang it. I'm like, that's why I was like, I got to get that stuff off that bike. I'm going to sell it. I told him to do that. And you know what? Doesn't that make you mad in life? When somebody promises you something and then they don't do it, or somebody tells you something, is that making you mad? I mean, hey, want to talk about elections? Wow. Yeah, we can talk about that later. But anyway, so on I became very mad, but now I've kind of have changed direction, and now I'm more on the page. All right, I love the Indian Challenger, and the thing is, that bike's just about paid for. So I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, how many brains? You don't have these things. They all have freaking huge notes on them. That thing there, I could just pay off tomorrow if I wanted to. So you can actually own it. And then the Triumph, it's not a real big deal because it wasn't a lot of money, and I put money towards it. So, it's minuscule monies to own that. These Harleys, these things get expensive. And you get mad at that, and that's one of our conversations. You get mad when you see your bill for your car payment or motorcycle payment or truck payment, and the list goes on and on that. But here's the thing. Indian is kind of a little maddening. Indian, friend Chris, if you watch my channel on the car show, I documented him. So I got to document. I don't think he watches my morning conversations. He hears me talk enough just in person So I'm sure he's like, yeah, I'm good, Iceman. So here's the thing. I called him out. He's telling me that the Indian's going to do a big reveal on Tuesday. I even talked about it a little bit. So Indian's going to do a big reveal, and they're going to share their new products. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because I've been talking here to myself. Yeah, do I do that as I talk to a phone? I'm holding it in my hand in so many aspects. So I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? For the Indian product line, what I would like to see is Indian buys back my Pursuit, and then, hey, if Indian's bringing a brand new restyled Roadmaster that would not be the Pursuit line of products, wow, I could get one of those new Indians, and I just kind of hold out for that. And so yesterday, Indian did the big reveal, and at the end of the day, whip-de-doo-dah. All Indian's doing is offering different paint themes, and that's really all it's done. It apparently has a new speaker system, speakers in the tour or the saddlebags, and they have LED lighting around them where they light up at nighttime. But otherwise, for Indian, per se, there's a few little fine details of some changes on how the bikes come packaged, but overall, there's nothing like what Harley's doing. For Harley-Davidson, the talk is per my friend Chris. So for Chris, who told me they're going to have this big reveal of Indian, we're thinking that the bikes are going to be a new lineup on motorcycles. It didn't happen. But Chris now has informed me that the inside Harley guy says that the 2024 Harley-Davidson will be a whole new revamped touring bike, and that's the one to wait for, which that's exciting. So for me, but we probably won't figure that out till January. Now, I believe that. I believe that Harley-Davidson, no doubt, is going to take this new style. It's too bad I've had to convert to the winter months and get my cars in the shop, and I don't have room for all my motorcycles, because if I had my 2021 CVO Road Glide right here next to me, if you didn't know the bike, you'd be able to see the dramatic difference of the two motorcycles. But the biggest thing is for Harley-Davidson, the new line, the CVO new line that you're looking at, has a more rounded, bigger looking saddlebags, has a bigger square looking gas tank. It has more of a nice ape hanger style handlebars on the Road Glide. It has a new redesigned front shark fairing. It has a smaller front tire. So the motorcycle, this type of theme and look, is going to be on the new touring models, but you'll probably have a 117 motor in it. It won't have the 121 because it's not going to be CVO. So it's a more affordable touring bike. And it'll have the new infotainment, dash. So that's exciting, because for me, I would be very interested in buying the tour model with the tour pack and the lowers. They give you the heated seat, the heated grips, all the amenities. It's more of a go over the road in the cold and wet weather, and you're a little more comfortable and more confident, and you have more storage. So I think that's going to be the release. So am I mad that Indian didn't bring something new? I'm not really mad, disappointed, but at the same time, Indian only has these models. This Challenger was brought out in 2020. So it's only going into its fourth model year. The Indian Dark Horse series, Roadmaster, the copy lookalike Harley, it's only going in, it was 2020 they restyled that motorcycle and brought it to marketplace, the Chieftain style, into a Roadmaster style bike, tour bike, but it's only into its fourth year. So I can't see on research and development and the payback that Indian could then be totally revamping their model line. Now, for Harley, it's a different story. You're talking with Harley, a good 10 years of the up to 2023 model line of not really being drastically different in the lines and the way the bike was built, besides updating the infotainment center, bringing different motors to the motorcycle, But for the most part, it's some other technology in the braking system. But for the most part, for Harley, they didn't really do like a whole revamp because they had to get their money out of their R&D and get their run. So I would think Indian's going to go at least 5 years, if not a little longer. And it'll come down to what Harley does too as well. But Indian, in their eyes, I don't disagree. They've got a nice product line. And with the exception of the Pursuit, for the most part, I've had a lot of success. And I haven't been mad at Indian. But will I be mad at Indian by tomorrow when I drive my Triumph down to the Motorcycles of Dulles to get the oil changed and then look at the Pursuit and see how they took it apart and put it back together? And it's it's the same story. And then it's call Indian, and Indian continues this thing of, oh, we need to do this, which that ain't happening. It's over for Indian telling the dealership to do anything more to that bike. It's not acceptable. And that's when I will get mad and I will start voicing a stronger stance of me just like the silence has stopped. So another thing we could look at in the car industry is a lot of people are mad that the Dodge Charger and Dodge Challenger are being taken away. These models are gone. A lot of people are mad about that. A lot of people are mad that Ram has just announced that the V8 motor is no longer going to be in the 2025 Ram lineup. The Ram TRX will no longer have the Hellcat motor in the 2025 lineup. It's the RHO. So that Ram replacement of the TRX for 2025 will be the exact same looking style, badass, bulky, beefy, off-road monster, but it's going to be the Hurricane motor setup with a 540 horsepower, and you won't get the 700 plus horsepower Ram TRX motor, the Hellcat motor. So, but it's still going to be the fun factor. I mean, I think the truck will still be a lot of fun. And here's the thing for me. If I knew the Ram TRX Hurricane setup was more of a 15 to 17 mile per gallon vehicle, very debatable on that. It's a lot of vehicle. That's pretty cool versus you're really a 10 mile per gallon. Yeah, I mean, I get in these Ram TRXs that have been driven around, and I look at the fuel mileage, and every one of them is 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's just kind of what you see on the, and I know people out there maybe dogging them, but I guarantee anybody that owns a Ram TRX would tell you, you're going to fight for 12 miles per gallon. You're probably going to be at 10 miles per gallon, but why do you buy it for that, right? I get all that, because does that make you mad when you go to the gas pump? So on the Dodge side, people aren't happy about the so-called performance package of the ICE is gone, but we don't know that. That's what's interesting is I truly believe that the finance guys, the bean counters are starting to see that this EV transition is making the investors mad because the amount of money is being spent, the numbers just aren't working. And I think that more than ever, the people that are mad about the transition just to electric only are being heard more than ever. And I think like the company of Stellantis and GM and Ford are hearing more than ever. People are mad about the only electric option, and they're now kind of stepping back and saying, you know what, we got to be more creative. And if you're watching my channel, you'll know I spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the new Ram PHEV plug-in hybrid electric vehicle that has the gas engine, the V6 Pentastar motor in the front of it, where it is going to be the generator. It's going to be the gas engine to regenerate the battery pack for that new Ram truck. So for Ram, they're being more open-minded that, hey, here's an option. You got an option to buy the ICE Hurricane package, which in all sincereness, if they put a 500 horsepower Hurricane motor in that Ram 1500, that's the most powerful 1500 Ram motor they put in to date. You have the 5.7 small blocks in those Ram 1500 trucks, and those are like 375 horsepower motors. They could have upped it a little bit, but you're going to be buying an inline 6 that's more powerful than today. So I think that's a great thing. The inline 6 in my wagon here is a great vehicle. But Ram's listening because people are mad. And so then the other thing is they're going to say, okay, you can do the PHEV I just talked about. They call it the Ram Charger. So get this. Ram has reintroduced the name Ram Charger. When I was growing up back in the 70s and 80s, the Ram Charger was the SUV full-size Blazer, full-size Bronco competitor that was the truck with a little short bed on it with a cap on it. Basically, that was the Ram Charger. Well, now they're using that same name. That's kind of creative. Is to have the Ram Charger option, which it is the Ram truck that charges itself, the PHEV. Or you just go to the Rev truck, which is the Ram electric vehicle. That is the all-out electric, no hybrid setup, competing directly against the Ford Lightning. Or you order, like I said, the Ram regular 1500 ICE vehicle, which then is just competing with the typical F-150 and the Chevy gas vehicles. And I think Ram, that's a good thing to do. I think they should continue to offer people the options. And I think that's what most people are saying is, I don't think people are mad that things are electric vehicles. I think people are mad that they're being told what they have to buy and they only have one option to buy. Just like this here, if they bring out a brand new Dodge Charger that's coming 2024, whatever it may be, and you have the option of it to be a PHEV, a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle Dodge Charger, or you have the option to get the ICE vehicle motor setup in it, or you have the option to get all electric, that would be the better package. That way you as the consumer aren't mad at the manufacturer because you feel like you now have options of what you can pick to drive and ride. All right, let's get upstairs here. It's the ongoing mad conversations. Are you mad today after you voted? I can promise you one thing. There's a lot of mad Republicans this morning in the state of Virginia, in Ohio, in Kentucky. Come on, boss, get up here. Come on. Got to get some water. The good old coffee has dried out my throat. And I got the window open a little bit here, I think. Keep the fresh air going. And so the other dog is in the house begging for food. So, yeah, if you paid attention to elections, there's a lot of mad Republicans this morning because so many felt that they would probably hold the House in Virginia, and we didn't. In Virginia, we lost the House. So Governor Youngkin running around and doing his presentation to make women mad failed. So we just witnessed an election where political powers to be think they can tell women what they can and can't do. And boy, oh boy, I think to myself, if you're an idiot, if you're a married man, if you're a dating man, if you're a man in general, and you start telling a woman what she can and can't do, good luck. I'm sure there's maybe some out there that will challenge that a little bit, but for me as a man in life, oh boy, how many times you've been married and divorced? I can guarantee you, the guy that takes this hardball stance that he's going to tell the woman the way it is, and the only way it is, and he ain't bending, that guy ain't married. Just like you may, I got to be all wrong about that, but the whole point is, Governor Youngkin ran off a platform, basically, to me, total misinformation. And I think to myself this morning that we live in a society where it's a one-word, two-word society. And it's very disheartening for me as an individual that more than ever in today's society, the social media machine is so bad. It really is. And you know what? Interesting enough, there's a lot of younger people, and I think in general, a lot of people, they're just getting away from these social media machines because it's just mad people. It's just people venting their frustration and their anger of what they're not happy with. And it's just, then you get sucked up into that, and then you're just mad. I mean, who hasn't watched the news or participating in these type of conversations where you just become madder and madder from the views of others that you just scratch your head? And that's my point this morning is we just witnessed an election that made women mad. I mean, but here's what's unfortunate about it. The one-word, two-word age of people that either are really happy or really mad is where we are. Because the way they'll use a word, ban this or give this, and those two words are two different ways of how you're going to feel. And for me this morning when I woke up and I saw the election results, and you saw on the social media machines and even on the Wall Street Journal and other places, all the different views and opinions of what's played out in front of us, how the Democratic Party is holding Virginia and Ohio and Kentucky, Pennsylvania, I don't know, something's going up there, Louisiana, I'm not really sure about a lot of these other states, but for where I live, it's the blue state in the area that I live. It's big time blue. It's all federal government employees that rely on the federal government to pay their way, and it just kind of trends that direction mostly. But anyways, the whole point is that I think that's sad is the presentation was that one person felt a certain way versus another person felt a certain way. But what's unfortunate is that both individuals felt the same way, but one had a specific what they felt made sense time frame versus another felt there shouldn't be a time frame. And so I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with these conversations, but the whole point is there's a lot of mad voters that have woken up this morning because of what they felt seemed to make more sense. And it's once again, it's the media machine that doesn't disclose all the information. So you just come to closure very quickly of what you think a person is or isn't, or what an agenda is, or what a bill is, or what a law is. And it's just so like, but you didn't do your research. You're clueless as to what you think was the right decision. You don't know. That's the problem. You don't know. And so that's where we are. And that's what makes people mad. And that's the thing, too, is I tell my daughter, somebody comes up behind you that's tailgating you, getting kind of aggressive. I say, for all you know, that person has diarrhea. That person has to get home because they're sick. Or somebody, you don't know what's going on, but you start getting mad at this person and you start thinking, I'm like, you don't know what's going on with that person. We don't know. So if you can move over, just let them get by you. Let them go. We don't know. We could have had a brother or sister or mother or father just die. Or there's something you don't know. So that the thing is, you become mad at somebody, but you don't really know the reason why they're behaving the way they are. And that's where we are in today's society more than ever, I think. And it's just like the EV vehicles. So many people turn off the EV conversation and get mad because they feel like they know the answers of what's going to come to be, but you don't. And that's where I think it's very maddening of where we are in today's society is we do live, I feel, more than ever in people trying to control the future. People, I think, keep in mind, mankind's always done this, but mankind now has more access to in so many ways, share information that persuades people to feel and look at things differently from how you may look at things. And the point of that is, today more than ever, we live in a society where things are done to project the future of how it'll be. And that's where I think so many people then separate from one another because one person's like, you're foolish. You're buying into this. Another person's like, no, you're foolish because you're not buying into it. And so then that creates the mad experience between the two individuals and then the groups. And, what's going on in the country, in the world right now, is why people are mad at each other. I mean, so it's mad. So for us as a car person, it's interesting. I saw on Elon Musk's X platform, a person saying that they paid $72,000 for their model, whatever, Tesla. And 2 years later, it's worth $27,000. And they're saying that, and so you only hear one side of the story. So this person is very mad at Elon Musk because they're saying that when they went to go buy this Tesla car, they were presented that they could rent the car out, like the Turo thing, and make money off of it. So don't worry about paying $72,000 for a car that you really don't need, really, per se. I mean, how much money you save on gas, right? I've always said this. You're never going to save $20,000, $30,000 in gas if you buy an electric car that's 80, and you can buy the same car does the same thing for 40 to 50. But anyways, those persons calling out Elon Musk because they are very unhappy in how the Elon Musk Tesla products are depreciating substantially. And I've said this for years. And anybody that's a Tesla person on my channel, I'm not here attacking you. I'm just sharing what I view with the Tesla crowd. And it just seems like all the dirty laundry is not talked about in the general media. You just don't hear about it. And I truly believe it's because the Tesla people don't want to share the dirty laundry. In so many ways, it's just like what's going on in our country is the media machine want to share the dirty laundry. I think most people here would be like, nope, they're not going to share the dirty laundry because it's an agenda. So for Tesla owners, it's an agenda. Why do you want to devalue your Tesla by telling everybody you got in a car crash and you still don't have your car a year later? Why do you want to tell everybody you own a Tesla and it doesn't get the range that you were told? Why do you want to own a Tesla and assure people that you just paid $100,000 for it and now it's worth maybe $60,000? I mean, why are you going to do that? You're not going to do it because it just tarnishes the brand. The list goes on and on and on. And it isn't just Tesla. It can be, for me, I bought the Ford F-150 Lightning truck. And yeah, am I feeling that pain? I sure am. I got the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Am I feeling that pain? Yeah, I sure am. I mean, do I just start to tarnish the Mustang and the F-150 Lightning? I mean, in some ways I do, but in other ways it's like, what do you expect? You're going to buy a vehicle and you really think it's an investment. You're going to be able to, turn around and sell it 6 months, a year later and not take a huge loss on it. I mean, that's just the car industry. And that's what is going on more than ever that's making people mad. Here's the other thing is, you continue to see all these videos of everybody that's supposedly not paying their car payments, and they're mad at the deals that they were, in their eyes, I'm sure they would present it, that they were suckered into to buy. I mean, yeah, it goes both ways, but they're mad. And so people are mad, and then people are mad because they can't afford to keep the car they decide to buy that they probably knew deep down would be a challenge to buy anyways, but they're mad. And so they're letting their vehicles go. They're telling the bank, like, I know this ball game. I've been through this stuff in my life. I've had the hard challenges. I've gone down the road of just terrible times a few times in my life. Some people here watch my channel like, oh, this guy's got all the money. And no, the banks have all the money. It's me paying them to be able to keep these things. Yeah, that's the reality. So I've had my ups and downs. But now, what to me is interesting is, and this is nothing new for anybody that I think has common sense, but it seems our elections here in the most recent times, the people are extremely mad, are showing up in the droves to change things. And you would think that would be true. And that's where it's kind of really, for me, like maddening, is we live in right now we're in an era, we're in a time frame in this country of, it's kind of just befuddling that people want to continue to support the administration that has brought to us the highest, and keep in mind, it could be under the Trump administration as well, but I'm talking the city administration. As of now, they're in that time frame of the highest inflation ever in modern times. The highest inflation relates to the highest car prices, the highest home prices, the highest fuel and energy prices, the highest food prices. So it's kind of interesting that we have so many running to the polls that are wanting to elect the officials that support the administration to be, that has under its term so far the most challenging times for many Americans that that face huge expenses and very expensive, and it's very challenging. And the wages per se haven't really stayed. And then you have on this administration, which all administrations have had the illegal immigration challenge, but it seems like this administration, the illegal immigration is even bigger than other times. And the word in the street is that all these people coming here are concerned that Donald Trump would be reelected, so they want to get here even sooner because they feel that if Joe Biden doesn't get reelected, then it's going to be more challenging for them to come to our country. So we realize or not, a lot of people are coming here in the droves because of under the Biden administration. They feel like they can get in and not be kicked out. They feel that if Joe Biden doesn't get reelected next year, that's not going to be as easy to get in. So that's a whole other variable that's not even really talked much about. And then you talk about the homeless encampments. I've talked about this on my channel, but there's laws out in the West that protect the homeless people to set up encampments. In so many ways, I think this Virginia, I've said it years ago, I think the whole Silicon Valley has moved to Virginia. I think the California people have definitely moved here and by a lot in Virginia. Because in Virginia, this DC metro area, it isn't what it used to be with these really harsh, cold brutal winters. And so it is kind of a decent year-round weather that isn't radical. So it would definitely play favor to somebody that lives in a different environment that it's not like you're moving to like Buffalo, New York or Maine or Montana where you have these huge snows. But the whole point is, I feel like our whole Virginia area is so kind of transitioning into the California type of more demographic population. And so under this administration, the whole point here of me, kind of talking about this is it seems that people are mad. Wouldn't you think that people would be mad that they're paying more for everything and their income and wages per se haven't stayed with that? Don't you think people would be mad that we have so many more illegals among us that in some ways are doing devious things? Wouldn't you think people would be mad that the homelessness isn't being addressed in so many cities? Wouldn't you think people would be mad that the drug fentanyl overdose that's now entering into schools? My schools here in Sterling, Virginia, just here a week ago, had a whole rash of kids that overdosed on pills that are being handed out. So it's just weird in how you would think that people would be mad of the political powers to be and they would out these people, but instead they've outed others that have more of the mad feeling to change things, but the other people are mad at just a certain thing that seems that they will just then be mad at the other things that they'll be content because of just a certain thing that they feel like they're protecting. And that's all about the woman. So, wow. It gets deep and heavy. And, yeah, so is it a mad day among us? I'm sure there's a lot of people today that are extremely mad. What's really incredible is there's a video of this guy that goes up to a person yesterday that's handing out the paper. So if you have a piece of paper, you have each political party has an individual standing there near the polls when people go in to vote, and they offer to give you a cheat sheet piece of paper on how to vote for your party. And yesterday, there's a whole X video of a guy that was probably, around my age. And look, the guy looked like me as far as the color and the presence. And this guy goes off on this guy like you can't believe. And, just really, really bad. And for handing out a piece of paper to help that person that supports that party to vote a certain way. So I wonder if anybody not looking at, the X videos, who would that be? It's the divisions. Because this individual was extremely mad at this other person. And it's just like, wow, you're fighting for these political powers to be that get enriched by the select few to get agendas done. And at the end of the day, you pay for all these agendas that will enrich the select few. It's just, wow, it's just incredible. It's maddening, right? All right, I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully my video doesn't make people mad, but I thought that the mad conversation is so appropriate because I think a lot of people right now are mad at what's going on around us in the automotive industry, but I think us being mad at the same time hopefully benefits us because it's sending the message to the big auto that, hey, your views and agendas aren't what we like, and we're mad about that. So leave it at that. Anyways, the big beautiful day here. What am I going to do now? I need to go to my Mustang Mach-E. I need to go get rid of drop my truck off. And the projects shall prevail. Never got a phone call from my buddy with the Wrangler 392. I don't want to drive one of those. Just kind of drive one just to see. But anyways, that's it. Long video. Sorry. I just like to talk. Hey, everybody, have a great day. God bless. Stay safe. Stay safe. And we all need to pray for a miracle that our country can get the mad out and more of the love in. We really need it. All right. Have a great day.